Today I am going to be bottling my pale ale, and I am going to be making a hop tea along with my priming solution. So I'm going to show you that process, how to go about making hop tea, except I'm going to be doing it with my priming solution. So it's just a little variation, but essentially it's the same thing. So right now I have just 2 cups of water starting to boil on the stove. And in the meantime, I'm going to measure out 4.5 ounces of regular corn sugar. There we go. I wasn't planning on being that exact, but it turns out that I hit exactly 4.5 ounces. Now, we take our sugar and we add it to our water. Okay, so once you throw the sugar in the water, you want to make sure you stir everything, mix it in well together. And really what you're trying to avoid here is the sugar caramelizing or scorching at the bottom of your pot, whatever you're using to heat this up. So once you've done that, you can turn the heat up just to bring it to a boil. And we're not really going to boil it for that long. We just want to get the sugar to mix in with the water well enough so that it turns into a syrup. Okay, so as soon as your water starts to boil, you want to maybe leave it for about a minute, and after that just turn it down. And what you want to do is bring the temperature of this syrup to about 165 degrees. 165 degrees, where we're going to be steeping in our hops for about an hour or however long it takes for us to get our bottles ready and stuff. So that's pretty much all you do for this, and that's it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start getting all my bottles ready and getting all my setup to start bottling my beer. Okay, so once your priming solution reaches a temperature of about 160 degrees, give or take 5 degrees, so you can go down to 155, 165, wherever, as long as you can maintain the temperature somewhat stable. What you're going to do at that point is you're going to take a full ounce of citra hops and you're going to dump them in directly all in there, just like that. And now you can set your timer. But most importantly, what you want to make sure is that the temperature here stays right around 160, anywhere between 160 to 170 degrees is right about the area we're going to be. You can go a little bit above 170, just don't go above 180 degrees, and that should be good. So just do that for about an hour. Like I said, I'm still working on getting all my bottles sanitized and all that. So while I get my priming solution ready, I'm gonna go ahead and work on my bottles, and then I'll be back in about an hour. Alright, so I've got all my bottles pretty much ready to go. The citra hops have been steeping in the priming solution for a little over an hour, so the entire house smells like citra hops. Delish. And all we gotta do now is we're gonna turn that off, and we're gonna start getting ready to bottle by racking our beer. So there's our fermenter. Okay, so before you start racking your beer, what we're going to do is we're going to take a strainer, and I'm also going to take a nylon bag, and I want to put the nylon bag over the strainer just like this. Okay, then I'm going to pour my priming solution through the nylon bag. This is going to hold most of the hop stuff bag, and it's just going to keep basically like this mush of hops. Now it's going to be still a little bit cloudy and a little bit dirty because of the hops and because we've been steeping the hops in there, but it's not really going to affect the clarity of beer too much, and it's not really going to affect the color of it as well. So don't worry if you're seeing this coming a little bit dirty. Now if you really want to keep all of your hops out, what you can do is you can recirculate the hops after passing them through the nylon bag, or just go straight for using something like a coffee filter. The only thing is if you go ahead and use a coffee filter, the coffee filter drains a lot slower, so it's going to take a little bit longer for you to pour your entire priming solution through the coffee filter. Okay, so once your priming solution is in your bottling bucket, then we're going to go ahead and rack our beer into it. That smells really good. Looks like shit, but it smells really good. So here's how we do this. Start out by placing our racking cane in there right before we get to the yeast. Okay, so now there we go. Start our siphon. Get rid of any air bubbles that develop. Make sure that this is making a swirling motion so all the priming sugar mixes in. We're also going to go ahead and take a sample for our gravity reading. It looks like we finished at 1.010, maybe 1.011. Looks more like 1.010. So our final gravity is good, and looks like everything's going well. So that is how you make hop tea. And now from here on out, you just bottle as usual. You store, leave it for at least 2 weeks, preferably 3 weeks, to let it fully carbonate. But 2 weeks from now, you should have a ready to drink beer. So now that you've taken your gravity reading, you can go ahead and try it out, and that is pretty good. So I think it's just well balanced. There's not a whole lot of aroma in this beer right now, but hopefully this hop aroma can actually bring out some of that citra hop aroma that I'm looking for, and then with the carbonation that should also help it bring out through the nose. It does have hop flavor for sure, and it is pretty well balanced. The bitterness is just like almost just right. So that's good. All right, we'll see you guys on the next video.
Just randomly combine caramel, malt, hops, and you're fine.
Right there. Let's do it.
All right, that's that.
We'll see. We're missing two.